Hey y'all, this is Alex with Yak Squatch Fishing. I am filming this intro in my garage after the fact. Wasn't really happy with the initial intro I made out on the water. So anyway, I guess getting into it. So this is going to be a lure comparison looking at artificial shrimp lures. It's based on, and actually my channel idea kind of was inspired by a video that Justin Menendez did a couple years ago comparing DOA Shrimp versus Gulp. A lot of fishing lure comparisons that you see online are where someone takes a fishing lure out, fishes with it the whole day, and then at the end of it they tell you what they liked. They talk about the fish they caught, pros and cons, things like that. And those are great lure reviews. You can learn a lot from them. But one thing that I really liked about Justin's review that he did that one time is he took DOA Shrimp. I think he used a different color, but DOA Shrimp right here, old classic, and Gulp, and he fished them head to head. So he put DOA Shrimp on one rod, he had Gulp rigged up on another rod, and he fished, I think in his video, he did 30 minutes of one lure. Then when the timer went off, he would switch and do another 30 minutes of the other lure. And then he went back and forth like that throughout the entire day. Fishing 30 minutes, then 30 minutes, and counting up the fish he caught on each lure and assigning a point system. And then at the end of the day, he was able to do a direct comparison. And I thought that format was really, really useful. And it made a lot of sense to me. So going forward with my channel, I plan on doing all of my lure reviews based on that sort of format. So I don't want to talk too much. So let's get to the fishing.
There we go, there's a fish right on that point. Exactly where I thought it was going to be. Oops, keep hitting my camera. All right, what do we got here? Oh, little redfish. Beautiful. There we go. There is the first catch of the day on the DOA Shrimp. That is a beautiful little redfish. Uh-oh. He is still good and green, and he definitely choked that shrimp. All right, buddy, let's get that out of there. There we go. Beautiful redfish on the DOA Shrimp. Let's snap a quick picture. All right, buddy, since it's nice and chilly and he's pretty green, we're gonna go, oops, sorry. Was trying to do head first and he did a bit of a belly flop. All right, and we're back. Just finished up with the DOA Shrimp, going back to the Gulp Shrimp, both in root beer gold, which is a fantastic color for a backcountry environment, especially when you got dirty stained water or first thing in the morning or late in the evening when there's not a lot of light. Kind of a counterintuitive idea is the darker it is, the darker your lure. The reason being is that in very little ambient light, that dark lure is going to silhouette better against whatever light is available. So it seems counterintuitive, but if you ever take a handful of fishing lures, hold them up to a dim light or a light in a dim room and see which one has a darker silhouette. And you might be surprised. Oh, hello. Coming around a bend and there is a decent sized gator sitting right there. I don't know if y'all can see it on the GoPro camera on our left. Just the top of his head sticking up. He's probably gonna dive underwater as soon as we get close. Well, that's potentially a good sign, because if there's a gator sitting here, then that means he's sitting there for a reason, which is hopefully that there's fish and prey. Oh, he just went down. Yeah, that's the thing about alligators. 99.9% of the time, they're more nervous of people than people are of them, or at least you shouldn't be too nervous about gators. I mean, be aware of them, of course, but for the most part, they are not going to bother you. Whoop. Oh, there was a fish. All right, let's try that again. Just had a bite from a fish that was holding the gulp in his mouth and swimming with it. Went to set the hook and pulled it right out. So I don't think he had the whole thing in his mouth. We're sitting here at a nice bend in this tidal creek that has a good deep hole in it. And when we caught here, there was an alligator just kind of hanging out. He decided to go underwater and get out of the way when he saw me, because they tend to be a bit on the skittish side. They keep their distance from people. Also just saw a manatee in the middle of this deep hole, which definitely has the potential to hold manatees over the winter. Deeper water tends to stay a little bit warmer than shallow water during the winter. And these deeper holes in these tidal creeks are also good wintertime fishing spots, because they tend to attract and hold fish through the winter. Whoop, there's something. I'm not sure what that is. What is that? A little rat red, maybe? Better not be a catfish. Oh, nice little speckled trout. All right, so if there's one this size, there's gonna be more. Oh, that gulp shrimp just came off. Should have known with those head shakes. All right, let's get a quick picture. That would be a keeper in Louisiana. Nope, sir. But here in Florida, that's too small. Probably about 13, 14 inches. All right, buddy. Bye-bye. A lot of bait fish and a lot of strikes. And I've gotten 2 or 3 bites and 1 speckled trout out of here so far. And I think as the day progresses, there's a bite. There we go. I think that's another trout. Yep, another little trout. Beautiful. Whoops. All right, let's get you out of here. Uh-oh. Beautiful little trout. Way too small to keep. There's a fish. Another trout. There we go. Trout number 3. See if I can use that de-hooking tool without touching him and damaging his slime coat. Come on, buddy. Nope. All right, sorry, bud. There we go. Beautiful little trout. Bye-bye. All right, one of the annoying things about DOA shrimp is they're not super duper durable. So I've kind of torn up the back of that shrimp, so I've just put it back on the jig head upside down. All right, let's go ahead. All right, y'all, we are back to our gulp shrimp. Let's keep fishing this hole and see if we can pull any more fish out. Another couple minutes. If nothing happens, then we're gonna start moving. Because it is a bit deeper of a hole, we got to make sure we count down and let our lure sink as close to the bottom as we can before we start working it back. It's cold. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. There's a manatee right there. That's pretty cool. They're just kind of hanging out in this deep hole. there we go. I think that's another trout. Yep, small trout. A little bit bigger than I thought he was, but pretty little trout. Bye-bye, sir. Okay, that is 8 points on the Gulp Shrimp now. Keep getting short strikes. Whoop, there we go, there's something. What is this? Nope, little trout. Whoa, about got lassoed. All right, buddy, bye-bye. I don't know if y'all can see that big gator right there, hanging out close to the bank. Probably trying to eat these speckled trout too. There's something right there. I don't know what that is. Maybe a school of mullet. If there's a school of mullet, there's a chance of predatory fish underneath it. There we go. What do we got? Speckled trout. Oh, that's a... There we go. No, he's not a keeper. But he's a good speckled trout on a DOA shrimp. There we go. I knew there was some activity right there. Alrighty. That brings us up to 4 points on the DOA shrimp. Oh, yellow. There's a manatee. Can you see that? He came right up. Oh, there's that manatee again. You see him? Right there. Hi, buddy. Sir, what do you think you're doing, bud? Whoa, hello. That's cool. The cormorant just came up right in front of me and then took off. All right, y'all, we have switched back. We're making a bit of a change. So we're gonna be fishing with our shrimp lures underneath the popping cork. As you can see there, I don't know if you can see the full span of it. Yeah, there we go. So leader's only probably 15 inches or so, relatively short, like between a foot, foot and a half maybe. So this popping cork rig is actually something that I really didn't know how to fish properly when I used to live in Florida, back when I was in high school and college and kind of first learning how to saltwater fish. Really didn't know how to use the popping cork properly until I graduated college and went and got a job working offshore in Louisiana. And on my off time, I would do as much fishing as I could. And I learned from a bunch of guys over there that are really, really good. The key to a popping cork and lure combination is to have a short leader. 2 foot or less is kind of my preference. Because what happens is if you have a longer leader, like a 3 or even 4 foot leader, you're popping that cork and the fish are seeing and hearing that commotion. They come up to take a look at the cork, and if that lure is 3 or 4 feet away from it, they may not notice it. Whereas if you have a short 2 foot leader, 1 to 2 foot leader, you're popping, and that lure stays close enough that they can see it falling. Oops, there we go. After your cork is popped or been popping. Now, it isn't the most subtle way to fish, so you're definitely not going to be sight fishing this way, but it can be really good on days when there's not much activity and you need something to provoke a bite, because the sound that this cork makes is pretty similar to the sound that like a speckled trout makes when it blows up on a mullet or a shrimp at the surface. Oh, excuse me. Still getting over a cold. So this technique I'm doing, also, you need to be fairly quick and aggressive with that cork. Sometimes do a double pop and then a pause. Pop, pop, pause. Pop, pause. You can even pop it 2 or 3 times with pauses in between. But I usually like to start just with a pop, pause type of retrieve, just to see if that's what the fish want. And we've had one pull down so far, one pull under, doing that retrieve. So I think we'll stick with it for now at least. There we go. There's a pull down. There we go. Oh, that's the best trout of the day so far. That might be a keeper. There we go. Oh, buddy. Beautiful trout. Let's take a quick measurement. Nope, not a keeper. Pretty trout though. Pretty trout on the DOA. All right, buddy. Bye-bye. All right, so there's 6 points for the DOA under a cork. Whoop, that was a pull down, and then it let go immediately. Oh, there we go. There's something. Let's see what that is. Oh, another speck. Hello, we are getting caught up quick. Actually, I think we're tied. Maybe. Uh-oh. Come on, buddy. Maybe not. I gotta go back and look at the video. I think we might be tied on lures now.
All right, y'all, so going over the results. Forgive the poor lighting. I'm in my garage. It's nighttime, so I'm still figuring out how to do this properly. But anyway, we're going with the results written on a white piece of paper. Method borrowed from Paul Harrell's YouTube channel, if any of y'all are familiar with that. So, DOA Shrimp cost comparison. We're looking at $6.99 for a 3-pack, which comes out to $2.33 per lure. Gulp Shrimp, also $6.99, but it comes in a 6-pack, so we're looking at $1.79 per lure, so significantly cheaper. As far as jigs go, I had bought a 25-pack for $18.99, and that comes out to 76 cents per jig. So for a total lure cost, the DOA is a pre-rigged shrimp. Everything's all put together right out of the package. It's the shrimp plastic with a hook and a belly weight, all put together. That's $2.33 total. And then Gulp with jig head plus plastic tail is $1.93. So as far as cost goes, Gulp takes the win there. So now we're going to look at the catch score for the day. DOA Shrimp caught a redfish, excuse the typo, and 3 trout. So that's a total of 8 points. Remember, going off of a similar method that Justin Menendez used, where game fish / desirable fish species each get 2 points, and then undesirables, which we didn't catch any today, but say jacks and ladyfish would be 1 point each. The Gulp Shrimp caught 5 trout, so a total of 10 points for the day. So Gulp wins by 2 points or 1 fish. It was fairly close though, but Gulp did end up winning the day. So under those conditions, we have to give Gulp a second win. All right, last thing is durability. I fished the same DOA shrimp the entire day, and I could keep fishing with it tomorrow, the next day, who knows how many days before something either cut it off or tore it to shreds. But the Gulp Shrimp's definitely pretty durable, pretty resilient. Did not lose any money on that. Gulp Shrimp, the one thing, well, a couple things I don't like, but one of the big things I don't like about Gulp Shrimp is they are a bit fragile. In the process of catching those 5 trout, I basically went through 5 plastic tails. I did get more bites, like small trout probably biting the tail and not actually getting hooked. but throughout the course of the day, they tore up 5 plastic tails. So total that up to a score of minus $5.85. So the DOA definitely wins on durability. So if the cost per lure and kind of being able to just have the same lure tied on the entire day and not having to change out baits is important to you, then you may want to go with DOA. So last thing, the overall winner is Gulp because it won 2 out of the 3 categories. Gulp won on the catch score and on cost. There is a little caveat about it, which I will talk about shortly. But again, overall winner was Gulp today under those conditions. All right, y'all. So to finish out this outro, one thing y'all probably already guessed is the title, quote unquote, Justin Menendez is wrong, is clickbait, of course. And yes, it's a blatant attempt to try to get some of his viewers looking at my videos. And hopefully the man himself takes a look and gives me some feedback or criticism, or challenges me to a round of fisticuffs or maybe a fishing challenge on the water. That'd be great too. So, so Justin, if you see this and you want to take this outside, feel free to let me know. So anyway, going on to discussing the results. In Justin's video, which I'm going to link in the description down below because it's a really good video, and again, it's one of the big inspirations for me to start this channel, and the biggest inspiration for how I am, the format that I'm using, doing a head-to-head lure comparison. In his video, he had a tie 9-9, so DOA and Gulp pretty much produced the same for him. In my case, it was close, but the Gulp edged out DOA. It was 10 points for Gulp, 8 points for DOA, which overall is really close, but still puts Gulp at the winner. The one caveat I mentioned at the end of discussing the result is when I switched to the popping cork rig. In that case, the DOA shrimp ended up producing better. So I don't know if it had to do with the way that DOA will sink, excuse me, because it's belly weighted, will sink down in this position versus the Gulp will sink head first and then it'll stop like this. I mean, I've caught fish on both methods. I've caught fish with a Gulp underneath a cork as well. That can be productive. Just in this case, I happened to get 3 fish back to back on the DOA and the Gulp. I think I got a couple of bites and it got pulled under, but I didn't get any hookups. So who knows, small fish, or they just weren't fully committed to it the way they were with the DOA. So just something to consider going forward. If you're fishing like deep potholes around structure, deep holes, things like that, Gulp seems to be a little bit more productive. So you may want to go that route. If you're going to be fishing underneath the popping cork, then you may want to consider that DOA. So hopefully this lure review was useful for y'all. Please like and subscribe, and also feel free to comment and give me suggestions for future lure comparisons to do. I've got a big list I got to work through, and I have more videos coming. Yeah, any suggestions, any criticisms, critiques would be welcome. So thanks. See y'all next time.